Hello and welcome to IB Times TV. I'm Marisa Christian. Today I'm joined by our resident tech guru, Dave Smith, to talk about Apple's latest earnings report and the latest Apple news. Now, Wall Street cheered after Apple released a better than expected third quarter earnings report on Tuesday, and Apple shares surged on Wednesday. What does this mean for the company?
It looks like they have good quarters ahead. I mean, basically their returns on Tuesday looked pretty good as expected. They fit within the range. They sold more iPhones this quarter than they were expecting, and they sold, I think, more iPhones than any other quarter, 31.3 million, I believe. And so that's obviously positive, and as new iPhones are set to be coming out in the next few months, that obviously is very positive because that number is only expected to increase. There's a lot of exciting products on the horizon, so Apple's feeling very good about itself, and clearly so are shareholders.
I read that Apple is buying shares of Apple. They allegedly spent $16 billion last quarter to purchase 36 million of its own shares at an average price of just about $444. Why would Apple do this?
Well, basically, Apple announced in mid-April that it was going to be launching a $100 billion buyback program so they could basically return money to shareholders. They were projected to spend about $15 billion this quarter, or in the last quarter, to give money back to shareholders. They spent a little more basically because their stock price is down a little bit, so it's cheaper to buy. And they obviously bought more because they must feel very good about what's coming on the horizon, and they think more people are going to be buying those shares back or be going to buy their stock again. Because they clearly have a lot of exciting things to announce by the end of the year. So they're feeling bullish about themselves.
Earlier in the week, it was reported that Apple was testing larger screens for its smartphones and tablets. Will this impact the next generation of iPhones and iPads?
Short answer, no. I mean, the next generation of iPhones and iPads you can expect to kind of be like the same iPhones and iPads that you've experienced, maybe a little thinner, maybe a little lighter, more or less the same experience. Apple is always testing larger screens, smaller screens, all kinds of screens. This is something they always do, so this isn't technically news, but it's always something interesting to think about every year. Will they do a bigger screen this year? Will they do a smaller screen this year? We'll have to wait and see, but don't expect it within the next generation.
It seems like Google has taken a few punches at Apple this week with the new Nexus 7 tablet and Chromecast, sort of its attempt to gain momentum in the TV field. Should Apple be worried for its iPhone and iPad?
They should not worry about their iPhone and iPad. Apple TV, on the other hand, I think they might be a little bit worried. Chromecast is 1/3 the price. There's no setup involved. It has most of the same features, and this is really kind of Google's foray into the TV. This is literally you plug it into any HD TV and it'll work. You know. That's their idea. It's $35 as opposed to Apple TV, which is $99. It has, and it's open source, which is really the main thing. They're giving their APIs to developers so people can develop for this platform, and that should be really interesting to see. It's affordable, it's accessible for developers and consumers, so it seems like a great product. And Apple TV should be a little bit worried.
Well, thank you, Dave. We always count on you for our Apple updates.
Least I could do.